Hello everyone, I am the Lore Explorer and this is Outer Wilds. Today, I want to put forth a theory I think a lot of you would like. Let's talk about how the Ash Twin projects could be used to save the Hearthian species. As always, this video will contain spoilers for Outer Wilds, but if you're still with me, we are going to talk about how we can essentially use the Ash Twin projects to master the universe and save our friends. If you've played Outer Wilds, you are familiar with the Ash Twin projects. I think it's a good idea to do a quick recap on the finer points that pertain to us and our goals here. We are connected to a statue that captures and stores our memories. This statue is able to send those memories back to the Ash Twin project's 22 minutes in the past using an advanced warp core and a black hole inside the Ash Twin projects. This whole process is powered by the energy produced from our solar system's naturally dying sun. This cycle repeats every 22 minutes and has happened millions of times already. But if you aren't connected to a memory statue, you are completely oblivious to all of it. Right now, only 2 Hearthians are connected to the Ash Twin projects, us and our time buddy Gabbro. The last thing we need to know about is the duplication mechanics of the Ash Twin projects. We are able to send more than memories back through the black hole. If you were actually at the Ash Twin projects when it activates, you are able to send objects and even ourselves through, but this comes with consequences. If we duplicate ourselves or an object and we don't go back through the black hole at the end of the next loop, the entirety of space-time shatters, ending the loop. Now, it is a lot to keep in mind, but that's all we need to know to master the universe in 22 minutes. Technically. So, enough talking. Let's get to work. To start, we have to enter the Ash Twin projects and wait for the supernova. Once the sun explodes, the black hole opens and our memories get sent back, but we're going to chase them through. From our perspective, we just wake up as usual, but heading to the Ash Twin project reveals a copy of us the game has dubbed Self. We are able to chat with Self, knuckle bump, do cool aerobatic stunts with our jetpacks. As long as we jump into the black hole at the end of the loop, everything is fine. But here's what I'm thinking. What's stopping Self from jumping into the black hole as well? If we both jumped in, I see no issue with how the Ash Twin project functions. We should be able to go back into the Ash Twin project and find 2 selves just hanging out. We should all be able to retain our memories, and for all intents and purposes, they'd be the same. So now, we have 3 of us, and 2 of them have to hop into the black hole after each loop. But they have plenty of time to work. The first step would likely be reverse engineer the warp towers. We can literally dismantle them, and the time reversing mechanics of the time loop would fix them. There are even spare cores in the high energy lab that we could just take and pair them once we figured it out. And we can make them portable. The Hearthians already do have this technology in the form of the Little Scout, but they probably won't help us in town because they'd probably think we're crazy. But we now have 3 minds on the task in an unlimited amount of time. And we can even just bring them through the black hole with us so they don't get lost to reverse time. But once we have portable, instantaneous time travel in our hands, we can move on to the next step. Blow Gabbro's mind. Yeah, they're already connected to the statues, but just imagine walking up to them and saying, "Hey," and then just having 2 more of yourselves just pop out from either side. Even Gabbro would likely need a full loop to recover from that one. After that, we'd go to have a chat with Hornfels. We'd basically try to do the same thing and convince him to come with us. We'd walk up to him and just say, "Hey, Hornfels, you know this statue? It's pretty crazy, right? We found another one, so you should probably come check it out with us." And then when Hornfels says, "Okay, let's go to the ship," we activate our warp core and give him a mini heart attack. The whole point of bringing Hornfels to the Ash Twin project is to get them physically close to the memory statue there. As long as they are active, the statue will automatically sync with anyone who gets near it. So once Hornfels syncs with the statue, they'd have to be convinced, no question. There is no way they'd be able to just tell Gabbro and us we were dreaming. And with Hornfels connected, that makes 3 separate Hearthians now connected. 5 if you include the 2 selves. and that is definitely enough to convince the rest of the village in the crater that we have to do something. Once we achieve that, we have a few options from there. We could sink 2 more Harthians up to the Nomai statues that are left in our solar system. Or, Gabbro and Hornfels could decide that they should duplicate themselves as well. Or we'd even do both, because the next task is actually kind of monumental. We need to create masks and statues that'll work with the Ash Twin Project for every citizen of the crater. They'd either try to make them from scratch, or devise a way to lift the Ash Twin Project statue into the black hole to duplicate them. Okay, so as of now, we have at least 3 of us, with 2 of them having to enter the black hole at the end of each loop. Portable, instantaneous travel to basically all planets, and yes, even Dark Bramble, and an entire civilization working on memory statues so they can become connected to the Ash Twin projects. Things are starting to look up. Once they get all connected, I mean, the Harthians are in pretty good shape. They could likely live the rest of their lives like this, treating each loop like a Harthian week or something. But that may not be a very comfortable existence. They might not be able to have kids, or who knows. But even though they would never age and they could do a bunch of crazy daredevil stuff and not worry about it, I mean, it'd be perfect for Rebik, wouldn't it? They wouldn't be scared. They could crash their ship, blow up their reactor core, and wake up without a scratch. And that all sounds pretty good. I mean, technically, we could stop there. We saved our friends. They do have another option to them, though I'm not as sure it would work. We can begin on an advanced warp core technology. If the Harthians had 2 advanced warp cores, they could power both the vessel and the Ash Twin projects. From there, they can run some tests from the eye. I think the Ash Twin project would still prevail and prevent the Harthians from settling on the eye and actually building, but they could get pretty ingenuitive with it. With their own warp cores, they could kind of have 2 separate civilizations, one on the eye and one back on Timberhearth, that immediately sends them all they need via warp cores, and they could even come along. And then they could quickly, use those important materials to set up for the next week or so. Stuff like sap wine and marshmallows and maybe some tents, I don't know. Harthians are okay with roughing it. And if they're willing to get risky, there are some more tests they can do. They can send the extra duplicates into the eye. And that way, maybe if they got rid of the duplicates, the Ash Twin project wouldn't see a problem and space-time wouldn't end. Then, the Harthians could live the rest of their lives out at the eye, because, time doesn't matter there. They'd be able to literally live through this universe to the next one. And they'd probably be able to cut down the quantum trees and build and have kids and all that stuff. It'd be a pretty good life if they could build there. Or they could all take the ultimate gamble and just all of them jump in at once and see if they get to stay together forever inside the eye and live a better life there, where they actually have the observatory and things that the eye would conjure up for them. But the Harthians don't know any of this stuff. They don't have this knowledge, so it's just kind of a dream. But I think it is possible, and as we know, if something's possible in the universe of Outer Wilds, it likely exists somewhere. So there's hope yet. And if you think about it, they really do have all the time in the universe to sit down and work out these problems. So I'm sure they'd be able to figure it out in the end. But just as long as we save our friends one way or the other, whether they stay at Timberhearth in the time loop or try to move to the eye or even inside the eye, as long as we save our friends, I'm kind of happy with it. But for now, this is the Lore Explorer, sleeping a bit better tonight, knowing it's technically possible to save all of your friends in Outer Wilds. Maybe even set up shop at the Eye, the last safe haven of the universe. Meaning all we'd have to do is set a flag on it and we'd have conquered the entire universe in 22 minutes. By process of elimination and just being the last ones left. If you liked the video and the thought I put into trying to save our Harthian friends, be sure to subscribe. And if you don't want to miss future videos, hit the bell so YouTube will notify you. Or you can join the Lore Explorer Discord, which I update manually as each video comes out. You can find the description for that in the link below. But mostly, I just want to thank you for watching the video, and I hope to see you in the next one.